What's growing on, gardeners? On today's 2-minute garden tip, I share what I think is the best way to grow onions, and my answer may surprise you. This video is not about growing onions from seed versus growing onion sets. I determined many years ago that growing onions from seed is way better, and I will link to a video both above and down in the video description that explains why. This is about the best way to start onions from seed, and the way that I have always done this is to sow my onion seeds indoors in standard 72-cell seed trays. And while I initially get great germination, I have a high die-off rate. 2 weeks after germination, the survival rate isn't as great. And as you can see here, I have a lot of blanks in these seed trays. Initially, I had seeds germinate in every individual cell, but now some are bare because of the die-off rate. Onions are one of the first things I transplant out into my garden in spring, so I start them very early. All of the onions in the seed tray were sown over the Christmas holiday, and they started germinating in about 7 days. And initially everything was great, but 2 weeks after germination began, I started seeing the die-off, and I got very nervous, so I started a second round of onions just in case. The way I started my second crop of onions was much easier than the first. I simply took an old leftover pickle container and I filled it with a 50-50 blend of Jiffy seed starting mix and pure coarse vermiculite. And then I sprinkled the seeds on top and I put them underneath my grow lights on a seedling heating mat. And look at the incredible germination that I got from these onions. They look absolutely beautiful. And keep in mind, there are actually no drain holes in the bottom of this container right here. I just keep it very lightly moist. So obviously it has to be kept indoors at all times because if you overwatered it, it would get flooded, but it couldn't get any easier than this. And here is the crazy part. All of these onion starts are 3 weeks older than these onion starts. Yet look at how the onion starts in the pickle container are outpacing them. They are absolutely incredible, thick, green, and gorgeous. The benefit of seed starting trays like these is it makes it very easy to remove the transplants once they become well established. They just pop right out of the seed cells. But onions are special because while a lot of transplants don't like having their roots badly disturbed, with onions you can separate them very easily. So although all of these are really well rooted together, it's very simple once they become established to just rip out this whole mass of hair right here and individually separate them all. It doesn't really bother onions when the transplants are 6 to 8 weeks old when you put them out in your garden. They can take being disturbed and having their root mass shuffled around while many other transplants can't. So if you're looking for one of the easiest and most reliable ways to start onion transplants, sow them from seed in a large container indoors on a seedling heat mat set to 75 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit 8 weeks before you transplant them out into your garden in a 50-50 blend of seed starting mix and vermiculite. And you can have incredible results just like these. And that's today's 2-minute garden tip. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing and hitting the bell to receive new video notifications, and check out our Amazon storefront and spread shop in the video description for a list of the gardening products I use and awesome custom designed apparel and other gear. Your support is greatly appreciated.